Hey everybody, it is Thursday. I'm super excited. You have no idea how much fun I've been having with the amazing, beautiful Get Real with Cindy. Here she is in the house.
Hello.
Don't you love her outfit? I love the red.
Thank
Loving the
you.
shirt. We've had a great conversation beforehand. It's so fascinating to me. I'm getting used to it, but we have a whole camera crew behind us. I love it though. I love the fact that more people are going to get to know your message and what you do. Hey guys, what's up? Danny Hernandez, what's going on? So we got some love already. Oh, Allie McCarroll's on. I don't know where she is. It's super happy to have you on the show because I think that you have this amazing personality and you can tell it in your social media. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited. All right, so they love origin story. Everybody wants to know a little bit about, what's up, Danny? Everyone wants to know a little bit about the background, right? Because once they get to know you, they're like, all right, I like her. And you obviously have a great story, so tell us a little bit about you.
So hi guys, thanks for tuning in. You know, Ted has just been so amazing. It has been so exciting to be here and meet him, and I'm learning a little bit about him as well. So, you know, my background is grew up in Baltimore, had an amazing family, moved out here to Florida. It's just been one adventure after another. And, you know, I'm really just focusing on my life's journey, trying to enrich, empower, and educate other people in not only different fields, but just having an amazing mindset. You know, your mindset is going to be half the battle.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So you obviously weren't born and decided, hey, here's the deal. I want to be a speaker. I want to empower people. What did you want to do when you were younger? What was your dream, or what did you do up until the point where you became this amazing speaker, motivator, inspirational person?
So I actually originally wanted to be a nurse. So I went to nursing school. Was just a few semesters from my boards, and we had a family tragedy. And I stepped into our family company. My parents had a very large company with my brother. And I stepped into that, finished my master's degree, worked for NASA.
You work for
NASA? Yes, worked for NASA. And then, you know, my life settled a little bit. I moved to Miami, and I was in the movie and production industry. It was so exciting. Worked with all the major celebrities. I hosted MTV Cribs.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that, because you mentioned that for a hot second earlier. So you're in the movie industry, you're in the video industry.
Right.
You hosted MTV Cribs.
I did, along with
So
my daughter.
what was that like? Like, give us a little bit of, and then you guys can Google it if you're not old enough to know what MTV Cribs is. If you're still stuck on, what is that show? 16 and Pregnant,
Ooh.
or all of that young mom stuff. It's a lot of shows. Back in the day, we actually had music and things like that. So talk a little bit about that journey.
So when we hosted MTV Cribs, you know, it was a great honor. I worked for a serial entrepreneur. We lived in Miami and South Beach, and you know, they approached us. I have always had like this 1,000 personality, and they approached us, you know, just to host it. My daughter went to Beach High, my daughter Lauren, and they were just fascinated in the dynamics. We hosted it. It was so exciting. It was on multiple, not only multiple channels, but it was in multiple countries. So even to this day, people will call me and say, "Oh, you were on MTV Cribs," and it was just super exciting. And then, you know, one opportunity. My life has been a series of opportunities. I think I'm on book 25. The chapters are gone. I'm on book 25. So it's just been a series of opportunities after a series of opportunities. And, you know, it has been a bumpy ride, but I'll tell you what, it has been exciting.
What's been bumpy about it?
Well, what has been bumpy about it? That's an interesting topic.
Well, you brought up bumpy, so since we do so much research and development at the TED Show.
There have been a lot of bumpiness, but what I learned from one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, is that you don't always talk about the bumpiness. You go forward. We maybe not want to say bumpiness as we want to say a lot of exit ramps. I'm still trying to stay on the highway to get to where I want to be.
It's hard because there's so many things that come in our way. There's obstacles. And so you're trying to get to where you think you need to go.
Right.
But sometimes those obstacles redirect you to where you're supposed to be.
Right.
And so you're involved in video, movie in South Beach. We were talking about the food and the lifestyle in South Beach is amazing. I love it down there. But obviously there was another journey that you had to take. So how did you get up to Orlando?
Right. So my parents, I'm adopted. A lot of people know my story. You know, I'm just blessed to be adopted. My parents were married for 68 years, which is
God bless
not possible these days, it seems
not.
like. And, you know, my mom became sick, so I came to the Claremont area. I stayed with her, took care of her the last year of her life, which was my absolute honor to do. And I just had decided that, you know, I really needed to stick by them and take care of them, bought a house, stayed here, continued to take care of my father, and then just really kind of started over again with my journey. You know, my children, Darren, Brandon, and Lauren, are all
Kids,
grown up.
we were going to tag you and talk about you no matter what, I can tell you.
They're all grown up and they're successful in their own rights, and you know, they're in the Orlando area, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to put my roots here, I'm going to get started, and this is just, you know, Cindy 2.0. We're moving forward. Get Real with Cindy is here.
What was it like to go from South Beach, Miami to Claremont? Was it a difficult transition for you? And I'm not talking about just your parents and what you were going through, but from a lifestyle perspective.
It was difficult, not only from the lifestyle perspective, just from, you know, the area. You know, where I live was in South Beach. It was very busy, very fast-paced. I knew everyone knew me, I could go anywhere. You know, we had a core group of people that we were very close to, commissioners, mayors. I was very involved in the city there. And then, you know, when I came here, my life changed quite a bit because I was just focused on my family, as they had been on me, you know, several years ago when they adopted me.
What age were you adopted?
5 months old.
Okay, so those are the people you know.
Those are my parents.
Those are
There's
your
no
parents.
question.
That's how Stacy is. Like,
Yes.
she did eventually find her biological parents, and then she looked at me like, "Why did you open that Pandora's
Right.
box?" So it was definitely a challenge, and I think that is for anyone adopted. So you come up here, and then how did you reestablish? How did you decide Cindy 2.0, and was that different from the Miami Cindy?
So how I reestablished is I met Paige Fletcher, and Paige and her husband Boston, they took me under their wing. I met them probably over 2 years ago, and Paige is super successful. She's a best-selling author. She's been on Dr. Phil multiple times. She has been on, you know, TV shows. The same with Boston. They were investors. And I thought, okay, you know, I'm starting over again. I need to kind of get my life into perspective.
Sure.
I need to have multiple streams of income. There needs to be other things that I need to do. And when I met them, they kind of catapulted me and took me into my next adventure, which is, you know, the Faith Fund and Forex, which is what I'm experiencing now.
And so did you have any experience in that? Obviously, you probably had experience in the faith and the fund, but how about a fun and how about Forex?
Well, a little too much experience in the fun.
We're
Coming
still
from
having
Miami,
fun,
we're
yeah.
still having fun.
South Beach is just fun
That's right,
in general.
That's right. You know, the faith is really kind of what brought me here, the protection. You know, I want to talk a little bit about that, the protection and, you know, my beliefs and my belief system. But the Forex, I had no experience in that whatsoever. And when I met Paige and Boston, you know, they were already in that field. They literally mentored me and helped me and got me where I needed to be and really set me on a path for success. And that's what I'm trying to do today, is I'm really trying to share that with other people.
So talk a little bit about what Get Real with Cindy is, and then I want to dive into Forex.
Okay.
So talk about why that. Why is that that's your signature? That's what does Get Real even mean? Because we say it a lot. We're like,
Right.
Please be real with me. But then what is your definition, and why is that such an important part of your brand?
Well, Get Real with Cindy is black or white. I always wanted to be straight with people. I always wanted to share my story, the good or the bad. I also wanted to, you know, when I mentor people, especially young people, I don't need to have fluff with them. They need to know this is the situation, these are the mistakes, this is how you need to do it. So people kept saying to me, wow, you're so real, you're so approachable. Well, hello, of course I am.
Of course.
You know, we're talking about serious topics. And I want to make sure that people understand the realness of it. And, you know, Paige again, she said, well, let's just do Get Real with Cindy. And we started talking about it, and I thought, you know what? I think that that's going to be great, because I want people to know that I'm always going to be real with them, and I'm always going to tell them, you know, the straight point, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's how we're going to approach life.
Have you found that people are responsive to that? One of the things, before you answer, I found is that people say they want you to be honest and real, but when it comes down to it, they're really not as receptive as you'd hope they'd be.
Well, unfortunately, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So if you're receptive or not, you're going to get the truth from me. You're going to get the best version of me. And I'm only here at this point to pay it forward. You know, so many people have poured into my life, all the way from the adoption to the mentors that I have now. So my mission is really just to pour into you and to give back and pay it forward. So you're going to get what's real, whether you like it or not. What you choose to do with that is not up to me.
Amen to that.
To you.
Listen, because I want somebody to be real, and then how I process it and how I deal with it or engage in it is on me. So I can't ever blame that person because they're being their real self, their authentic self with me. And I think people get super confused on, okay, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to tell you all the terrible things you are. And there's just such an interesting dichotomy. That's why when everybody starts out with, all right, so let me be honest. I'm like, oh God, this is not going to go well. Because their honesty isn't necessarily a reflection of their authenticity. Big difference, guys.
Right.
So how did you get into Forex? You talked about beige, is that correct?
Beige.
Earlier. So explain to them what Forex even means. I know a teeny tiny bit, but not enough to ask you enough questions. So
Well,
give
we're
them the
gonna get you
101.
educated.
All right, we're going to get educated.
So Forex is short for foreign exchange. And what that means is simply when one country's currency exchanged for another country's currency. So I know that a lot of you have traveled different countries. So for example, when you go to the airport, you'll see a lot of the foreign exchange counters, but let's just say you're going to Mexico and the American dollar is worth $1,000, or you have $1,000, and you go to Mexico and that $1,000 may only be worth $500. Well, you're participating in the foreign exchange. It's either a buy or a sell, an up or a down. And what I've learned, and I have an amazing platform and amazing mentors, is there's a way to trade against that. So you can actually make money. As traders, we find the peaks and the valleys, and we're able to make money in this particular market. The foreign exchange, guys, is a $6 trillion, that's with a T, trillion dollar a day market. And it's larger, it's 12 times larger than the stock market. And a lot of people just don't know about it.
So my experience, teeny tiny experience, is that it was very difficult for most people to explain it in a way. I need most things dumbed down. And if you think you've dumbed it down enough, you haven't. I need you to dumb it down here. So whenever it comes to anything financial like that or something that's unique, and I think a lot of people go, well, how am I ever going to trade in that? How am I ever going to get involved? And for a long time, Forex, kind of like day trading, was this big thing, and then there was a big fallout over it. So can you give them an example of what that means to bet against it or bet with it so that you can make money?
First off, we don't use bet because we practice.
My bad. See, this is why.
We practice, proper risk management. So we don't bet.
That's the wrong
we
word.
Don't bet. We never bet.
SEC, don't listen to that.
Yes, we don't bet.
Whatsoever.
I belong to one of the largest online academies, and I have a team. Shout out to the Market Breakers. I have a team of about 275 people, and we're global. Atlanta is the biggest part of it. We have one here in Florida, New Orleans, New York, LA. And we trade together. So going back to your question, how to get involved in it, it used to be for the ultra wealthy. So you used to have a lot of money. You had to have hundreds of $1,000s in a large brokerage account. We won't name the brokerage accounts, but now with the internet and how things have changed, you can actually do it from your smartphone. So if you have a smartphone and you're not using it, it's a dumb phone. You want to make sure that you're using your smartphone, to the capabilities that it is. So things have opened up with technology. We're not millennials.
We're not?
We think we are.
I mean, I feel like one.
I know we are.
I act like one.
Me too. But we're not millennials, and the millennials, they really have the upper hand on this. So if you are my age, or even if you're a millennial, you should pay attention to this. Foreign exchange, cryptocurrency, it really is a new way to do things, to pay things, additional streams of income, residual, passive, retirement income. It's really an exciting world that we live in now.
talk about, define crypto, because I understand it, but I think most people don't understand even what it means, because it really is such a unique concept, and they can't figure out how to pigeonhole it. So what is the definition of crypto that you use?
So cryptocurrency is just digital money. So if you imagine the money being printed, instead of it being printed, it's going to be digitalized. So back in the day, we paid with cash. I can remember going to McDonald's drive-through, and they had a sign up that said you could pay with your debit card. Excuse me, you could pay with your debit card, and I thought, who on earth is going to pay McDonald's with your debit card? So nowadays, everything is electronic.
True. So
cryptocurrency is just an electronic form of money. There's Bitcoin. There's all different types of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is the most popular right now. Shopify, if you go on Cash App, you can buy Bitcoin. I was at Subway in Dallas. We paid for subs with cryptocurrency Bitcoin.
Isn't that amazing?
It's insane.
So
and
crazy.
You can buy a Tesla car. Well, of course you can buy a Tesla car with Bitcoin. But Bitcoin really, guys, is the wave of the future. And it's even really seeping into things now. And the thing is, as a trader, what I've learned, there's two different ways with cryptocurrency. You can buy it and hold it, which is great and fine, which is what my son does, and I talk about that on my podcast. But as traders, we trade against it. So when it goes up, I make money. When it goes down, we make money. So I'm not that person that watches the news and goes, oh, it's 9,000. Oh, it's 2,000. Oh, it's 20,000. I'm the person that goes up or down. Let's make some money.
So you really do look at, when you're looking at it, you're looking at it from the business perspective. You're really looking at it as if a financial investor looks at it. Which I think when I look at it because I don't have the knowledge base. I look at it as the amazing amount of opportunity it's going to give people who don't have that opportunity right now. One of the things we're doing with Ted's community is that's going to be a self-sustaining community, and crypto is the basis for that. And when I tell people that, and then they ask me questions, I refer them to my partner. But I love what you're talking about, because I think that people want to understand it, and then they're afraid to ask questions about it. People are just afraid to not understand. And trust me, I've been in it for 2-3 years. There are still things that I don't understand about it. So don't let that be the thing that prohibits you from getting involved or reaching out to Cindy about it, because I think there's so much potential there. And if you have somebody who's a guide like she is, somebody who's going to mentor you through, I think it's super cool to have somebody like that. All right, is that what your podcast is about? You mentioned that earlier. So talk about your podcast.
So my podcast is Get Real with Cindy. It's a little bit about faith, it's a lot about fun, and it's a good deal about Forex. So, I really want to educate, empower, and enrich people to reach out of their comfort zone. And financial freedom doesn't mean you have to have $1 billion. It's great if you have $1 billion, but financial freedom means so many different things. Just the ability to care for your family, the ability to walk out of the house when you want to. One of the things I talk about is I don't set an alarm clock any longer, and that's a little scary, but I got to a point where I do things on my own terms.
Right.
And to me, that was financial freedom. Someone asked me, what it meant to be rich. Well, rich is a mindset. Rich
True.
is 100%
Did you hear what she said?
Yes.
It is a mindset.
And we talk a lot about mindset. Again, my mentors, Paige in Boston, they have just poured into me about Proctor. It's just been an amazing journey for me. And I can teach you how to make money, and I can teach you a little bit about mindset, but what I really wish for everybody going into 2020 is that you put yourself in that mindset and you set your goal board and you set out to achieve the goals that you want to achieve.
What do you do different, or what do you do? What are some of the habits that you have? And I'll give you an example and you can run with it. One of the things that I do every morning is I'm super gratitude oriented. So I don't just write it down, because I'm a big believer in journaling, but I also speak it out loud, even when I'm sitting there in bed and exhausted and I wake up. What are some of the things you do different? Because you're talking about going on a journey with these people. You're talking about engaging in a different way. You're talking about getting real. What are some of the things that you do different that you feel like are good for you, that they could maybe implement in their lives?
Well, I'm very strong in my faith, so I wake up, of course, each morning in prayer. And then, you have to constantly say, I'm so grateful and happy that I am. And then you want to add that to it. The thing that I recommend is you get a good mentor. You find people that have already achieved the goals that you want to achieve, and then you really attach yourself to those people. That's what I do different, and that's what I want to help other people do. And I have a goal board, I have a vision board, I have things set in front of me. You have to write things down, you have to journal, like Ted was saying. You have to really change the trajectory of your life, because I said this before, this ain't your mama's world anymore. You know, things are different, things are different. And what you have in your mind, what you see, you can achieve. And I really believe that if you just set your mind to it. Mindset is everything.
So goal board, I'm fascinated by this because you see these things popping up now, right? Vision board party, vision board gathering, and a lot of people in my industry, real estate, are trying to do those. It's engaging, it's kind of cool. You can set it up, you take the pictures out of the magazine and you paste there's a very cool process to it. But my fear always is that the implementation I see afterward is where the lacking is. So everybody can have fun posting a board up, but what do you do with the board afterward? So how do you recommend people who have that vision, they take the time, they set a goal board, how do they keep that in front of them, not just physically, but how do they help manifest that?
So you have to see the invisible to achieve the impossible.
Oh,
So
I like that.
that's how I feel about it. So when you put up your goal board, you want to 10x your ideas. So for example, for me, I want to inspire 1 million people in 2020.
I love this goal. This
Yeah.
is awesome.
I want to start a charity. I want to purchase an apartment building so I can help other people. So some of those things I already know that I'm going to achieve. All of those things I know I'm going to achieve. It's just a step-by-step process. So I don't necessarily put up magazine pictures. I put up things that I know that I am not only going to achieve, but are going to help other people. So, for example, if you want to buy a plane, that's great. I want to buy a plane too. But how is that going to impact other people? So my suggestion with your goals is, also think about how you're going to impact other people. The goal board doesn't have to be for the month or the day or the week or even the year. It's just the goal that you want to have. So you just keep focusing on that goal and focusing on that goal. And you know what? If you can achieve it, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. I really, really believe that.
I do too. I think that we get caught up in very broad, vague goals. And so I'm a believer in those too, but I think that if you don't have the implementation steps to get there, or at least, okay, I want to be rich. Well, what does that mean? What does rich even mean to you? Does that, you want to be somebody who owns a whole bunch of hotels, has the plane? What is it that you want to do? And I think that people don't know how to take that and kind of compartmentalize it and then reach their goals as they go. I would love to be able to have enough money to do nothing but distribute money to charities and help with charitable events. But I have to have a plan, at least something, some sort of vision that isn't the giant vision, that's more micro vision. So do you work with that? Do you think in your mind, maybe you've got your vision board, and then do you think in your mind, these are the steps I need to take to get there?
Yeah, so what you want to do is, you want to be as specific as possible. So like Ted was saying, you want to be rich. Well, what is rich to you?
Yeah.
Is that $1,000 a week? Is that $1 million a week?
Correct.
I suggest you read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I love
That's like
that
my
book.
Bible.
I love that book.
Why Are You Not Successful Now by Paige Fletcher. There is a lot of different things. I stopped watching TV. Sorry.
Makes me crazy, TV does.
I'm just constantly reading podcasts. Bob Proctor's been amazing. So you want to make your goals as specific as possible and then 10x them, because that's how you want to do it. So you
Explain
just,
10x.
10 times. You want to make it 10 times bigger than what it is. So I want to be financially free. Well, what does financially free mean? Okay, if I had to have $1,000 a week to be financially free, I'd be happy. Well, 10 times that. That's how you want to achieve your goals. You want to just keep going. I'm never good. I am never good. If you meet me, I'm never good. I'm always looking for the next, the next.
I love the honesty in that, because
that's right. That's how you really want to, move your life forward. You want to continue. I want to inspire. I want to grow. I want to teach. I want to enrich. I want people to learn from my mistakes. We don't have to talk about that. But I want people to learn from my mistakes. I have done things so you don't have to. And I'm here to help explain.
I love that, and I want to reiterate that, and I try to do it every show. She just admitted that me too, make mistakes all the time. So when we're not, I think a lot of people, they'll watch the show and they're like, well, she's got it all together. And you don't understand that we also have challenges every single day. But what Cindy's talking about is kind of keeping focused on the goal, your big goal, your short-term goal, your middle goal, whatever it is that is keeping you motivated. You have to kind of keep track of that. And you have to not let it get away. So let's say you're not reaching your big goal right now. Because I want to be rich is different from you to me, like you said. So for me right now, Rich is paying my bar tab weekly. I heard the Allie laugh. You know it's true. So let's say that's rich for me. Rich for you could be making enough money to open a Get Real with Cindy school. Right. And so you want to keep a focus on that. And then you can't, even though you will, get discouraged because you're not necessarily making that progress. So one step ahead, let's say it's 2 steps back, you really have to kind of keep focused on what the mission is at the end of the day.
That's right. And you know, my journey is not like your journey.
That's correct.
You know, everybody's journey is different, and that's okay because we all have something to learn from each other, and that's what's most important. Whatever you can share, whatever you can do to empower somebody, enrich someone, you never know. You just really never know. You have to get out there and move forward. And that 10X, it doesn't mean you have to be flamboyant 10X. It means you just have to think bigger, because whatever you're thinking, somebody already has probably achieved that. You've probably already achieved that and you don't even know it.
Correct. And plant some seeds, guys. Don't be afraid to do it. I can tell Cindy's a seed planter. And so you just have to go with the flow on that. And remember that you're still reaching for that goal.
That's right. But
you're, oh, Shirley, so sweet. We love you. You have to keep moving forward. We did a show recently this week. Slow motion is better than no motion. And so your progress may not be as fast as you want, but maybe you're putting too many expectations on yourself. And so just any progress is a good thing for you. All right, so we're going to share all of Cindy's contact information, how you can get real with Cindy, how you can listen to her podcast, how you can get involved in her vision, how you can do the things with her that you want to do, because she's obviously inspirational. I love speaking to you. I love your story. How you can get involved in Forex.
Yes.
You know, these things are really important. And so if you have any kind of inspiration to do it, she's obviously an open book, and don't you want to work with somebody who's got that vulnerability and authenticity like Cindy does? So we're going to ask the last question, obviously, which is big about mentorship, which you've talked about several times. Big on it. You guys have to mentor people. If you're in a position where you can help people, help them. So who's helped you along the way? Can you give a shout out to one
Absolutely.
or two or 10 if you'd
So
like?
we've talked about Paige Fletcher and Mr. Boston. Dawn $1 Million Wilson has mentored me, and you know, God has mentored me and followed my path, and has really helped me. And Ted, you've been an inspiration as well. So it's always exciting to see who Ted brings along to the Ted show. But guys, don't think that your story doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done, who you are. Your story is going to matter to someone. You know, it's going to be somebody else's manual in life. So don't be afraid to share.
I love that. You're a joy. Thank you so much. Get real with Cindy. Reach out to her. Please get involved. She can be a stepping stone for you. She can be a resource for you. So can I. If you're a little shy and you want to reach out to me first, and then I'll reach out to Cindy for you. Just reach out. Just get motivated. Get something going. Thank you for being on the show. Appreciate and love you. Love you guys, all of you around. Allie, everybody who's here. Have a great day. We will be back tomorrow. Mwah. Love you guys.